Hey guys, so it's a little bit tight in the garage today because we're going to be doing an oil change on my 2018 Toyota Tundra. I looked into it a little bit, seems pretty easy. According to the manual, we're going to need 8.5 quarts of 0W20 oil. I use Castrol Edge. I've been using it since I had my STI and nothing bad to say about it. A million different oil choices out there. This was pretty cheap, went ahead with that. Then I went and picked up a genuine Toyota oil filter and then some crush washers. I also picked up the oil filter wrench here, and this is to grab the oil filter cartridge off so you can change the filter media out. In addition, we're going to need a 14mm socket, an extension, and then a wrench. Let's go ahead and get under the truck. So I just recently got a grill, had a bunch of extra cardboard laying around, threw that under the oil catch, and then found our oil drain right here. So before this I ran the truck for a decent amount of time, warmed the engine up, so oil should be nice and flowing. Use your 14 to crack the drain plug and press in while you turn. If you're lucky, you'll be able to avoid getting oil all over your hand. I'd be using gloves, but they're in short supply these days. Alright, once you feel like it's close, pop out. That was decent. Might want to pop a few rags around your rim. It managed to splash right out of the container and onto the rim. So while that drains out, let's take a look at the filter kit. Comes with a little drain that you can pop into the bottom where that little hex is, and then 2 O-rings, the filter itself. I'm actually going to try and use this, see how that goes. I know that you can pull the entire filter housing without using this or taking off the little bottom, but I think it's going to be cleaner if we use this. So, also, just as a reference, the filter box actually has a step-by-step for you. Pretty cool. Alright, next up we're going to find our oil filter housing, and we're going to pop off this bottom cover here, just using a 3/8 extension. Try not to burn myself on the light. I feel like this is going to get all over my hand here. And down. And I guess you shove this up into here. Oh yeah, cool. So you just pop that in there, let it drain out. That's a lot of oil in there. That would have been really messy if we just went and took the housing off. So looking at the oil drain plug here, we can see the washer around it. This one's a fiber washer. I went and I picked up a bag of like 20 of them for not much on Amazon. I'll leave a link for all the stuff that I used today. I picked up pretty much everything on Amazon, which is great. If you don't find the washer on the bolt, check the pan, see if it's stuck to that. Sometimes they just get left behind. You don't want to double up on them. You definitely want to get the old one off. Alright, so that's out with the old and in with the new. Alright, let's slap this back on the truck. Alright, we're down to just tiny little drops back here, and that'll go for hours if we let it run, so let's just get this back on there. And there's no need to go crazy on these. You're not trying to just wrench these on like it's never coming off again. It's a great way to strip out the threads in your oil pan, and then you get to do an oil pan job. Alright, we'll clean that up and get on to the filter. So to get the filter housing off, we're going to be using this Motivex Tools oil filter wrench, and that's just going to go right on our 3/8. Alright, we're going to pop out this drain spigot. Maybe. There we go. We're going to line up our wrench. Spin this off. And there's our filter. Taking a quick look through the pleats here. No real signs of any metal flake, nothing shiny in there. Looking good. Alright, now that we got our housing off, we want to change the O-ring on it. This is where the O-ring sits. Whoops. This is where the O-ring sits. It doesn't sit all the way at the bottom. And as a healthy reminder, once again, the box will let you know. Wait, where is it? There we go. The box will let you know where it sits. Alright, we grab our new O-ring. I pulled some clean oil from the engine oil containers I have up top. Doesn't need to be clean. I'm sure you can use the old stuff. I've done that before. But you just want to lubricate the O-ring. And then get that on around that little groove that it sits in. And there we go. Let's clean this up a little bit. Slap this new filter down on here. It dawned on me that it would be beneficial to go ahead and slap the O-ring in the bottom here as well and get that done while it's off the truck. It'll just be easier. So, once again, lubricate your O-ring. Slide it into the groove. Get the cover on. Great. And we'll tighten that down once it's on the truck. Let's get this filter up in here. There we go. And don't forget to snug up the bottom here. Like I said, snug. You're not going crazy on it. There we go. Now let's wipe it down so it's nice and clean. Alright, with the messy part done, it's down to the easy bit. I went ahead and I marked where 8 quarts is. According to the manual, it's going to take 8.5, but I'm going to start checking the oil level after I hit 8, just because there's going to be some residual oil in the engine. So let's go ahead and get this in there. I'm not as cool as Jimmy Oaks, so I'm going to use a funnel on this one. I'm not part of the no funnel game because most of this will end up on the ground. Alright, we're real close to 8, so I'm going to give it a check right now. I'm going to check the dipstick, then I'm going to turn the truck on, run it for about 5 minutes, check it again, and we'll keep adding until we are nice and full. Alright, hard to see, but the truck took pretty much exactly 8.5 quarts. Pretty much on the dot. Alright, I'm going to go in here and reset the maintenance reminder, which is under little settings, vehicle settings, maintenance reset, and reset the reminder. Maintenance reset complete. There we go. Ready to drive for another few thousand miles before the next oil change. And just like that, truck's ready to go for another few thousand miles. I think the interval they recommend is something like 10,000 miles. I'm going to go on like 7,500, something like that. But yeah, pretty easy. And I think this was probably the easiest vehicle I've ever done an oil change on. Didn't have to jack up the truck. Didn't have to remove any under tray stuff. The only weird thing was the oil canister wrench. That's the one kind of, unique tool that you need to do this job. But otherwise, super simple. So just like always, I'm going to put anything that I used in the video down in the description. I got all of this on Amazon and it was fairly cheap, even the oil. I think it was like 17 bucks a jug. But yeah, check it out in the description down below. Thanks for hanging out with me in the garage. I'll see you on the next one.